Good morning. Hi there. It's me, Shyloe Fayad, Transformational Life Coach, again coming at you with Overcoming Depression and Anxiety, part 2 of our 3-part series. So I'd like to welcome you all to the Healing Through Movement Facebook page. I'm so happy you're here. I'm just going to keep talking a little bit while people join us. I'm very excited to be able to share with you today some of the information I've been able to share with my clients over the years. And I'm looking forward to this talk. So welcome to those of you who are watching. You've tuned in to Overcoming Depression and Anxiety, part 2. And today I'm going to share with you some, unique, actionable steps that will help you improve the quality of your life while reducing stress, reducing depression and anxiety. So great. It's great to have you here. Just a little reminder that if you're enjoying this video or if there's anything I say that resonates with you, please click the like button, show me some love with some hearts. I always love hearts. I'm a big fan of hearts. And yes, I am the founder of Happiness Habits, which is a unique and actionable system that helps you reduce stress, reduce depression and anxiety so that you can live your best life, the one that you've known you always wanted to live. So let's get started. This talk is going to be perfect for you if you have anybody in your life who suffers from depression or anxiety. Depression and anxiety happen to be very hot topics right now in the media because there seems to be a lot of people who are suffering from both of these things at this time. I really believe it's due to the way in which our lifestyle is moving, the fast pace and all the changes. And people are spending more time at work trying to make money to be able to afford all of the fun things that they want to do in their lives. So part of the reason I'm so passionate about this topic is that I myself suffered from depression for about 20 years. So for those of you who saw my first live, you heard a little bit of my own personal story around my depression and anxiety journey, and I'm going to just share a little bit of it here so that you can understand where I'm coming from. I love being a transformational life coach, but primarily the reason I do this work is because I began to feel depressed somewhere around the age of 11 and was overcome and completely controlled by my depression until I was about 30 years old. So for anybody who is suffering from depression at this time, there is a way out. I have not been depressed for the last 10 years, and it's because of that I chose to do this work. I had a very strong calling that really, prompted me to share the things that I learned in my journey of recovery over the period of time I spent really working on myself. One of the things I find fascinating when a lot of people talk about depression and anxiety, is that there's a big focus on the external. So what I mean by that is there's quite a large focus on the physical nature of depression, in particular, and anxiety. So for example, there for years has been teaching that depression is primarily a chemical imbalance. Now, I imagine that is true for some individuals, but I do not believe that is the vast majority of people, that applies to the vast majority of people. In my own personal experience, I come from a family where depression, sort of moved through the lineage. So there was generations of people suffering from addiction and depression. And growing up, I know that some of my family members were taking prescription drugs, and I'm going to say to you that that's between you and your doctor. It's not my choice to tell you whether or not you should be taking prescription drugs for your depression. But as a young person, I chose not to use medication to manage my depression. I had a very strong belief that there was a way for me to overcome my depression not using prescription drugs. What I saw in my life in terms of the adults around me that were using prescription drugs was that they still didn't seem to have a real, I was going to say like a true quality of happiness in their lives. It was they were still sort of on an even keel. The drugs kept them out of the deep depression that they were in, but they also didn't have this real ability to feel all of the emotions and express all of the emotions that we have that we have access to as human beings. So I really wanted to get to the root of what my depression was. Now, I grew up in a household that was affected by addiction, which I talked about a little bit more in my part 1 of this series, and you can go back and check that out. It's on the Healing Through Movement page. The thing is, there's a lot of people, a lot of my clients, and a lot of people I come in contact with through this work that have had, trauma or uncomfortable or not ideal situations in their past. And what we've learned in psychology is that a child's formative years are from the age of 0 to 7. So anything that occurs within that time frame affects you your entire life. So this is very important information. There's a lot of people who come to see me who are suffering from depression. They're like, well, I had a great childhood. I have a really good relation with my parents. But as we dig a bit deeper, it becomes very apparent that there's some things going on inside there that they possibly did not acknowledge or they downplayed. Now, what I've learned in my own journey is that depression quite often and anxiety is a result of suppressed emotions. So the body can only handle suppressing emotion for so long before there's some kind of consequence, so cause and effect, right? So when there is suppressed emotion, you're not able to feel not only the emotions you've suppressed, but you're not able to feel the good emotions either. So because of what happened for myself in my childhood, and I'm not going to go into all the details right now, I mean, to all outward appearances, my childhood was fantastic, right? It was what was going on behind closed doors or the way I felt about things that were going on in the household. But because I pushed all that down, there was nothing left for me to feel, really. It's almost like when you shut a door on your negative emotions, you also shut a door on all your emotions. So your range of emotion becomes very stunted and stilted. So I did all the things I was told. I got more sleep. I did more exercises. I changed my diet. I went off sugar. And I'm going to tell you right now that I do not think that that is the solution for people who are depressed or feeling anxious. I don't. It did not work for me. And it has not worked for a lot of my clients. This radical changing of diet. Exercise can alleviate some of it, right? Because exercise actually helps you move emotions through your body, okay? So exercise can raise your mood. But if you still have a whole bunch of a backup, like a backpack, or sometimes I think of a container full, packed full of negative emotions and negative experience, if you still have that in your body and that has not been dealt with, then you can do all the exercising in the world. You can eat all the kale you can possibly consume in your lifetime, and you will still have this underlying feeling of sadness. That was my experience. So around the age of 30, after I'd done a whole bunch of, very specific healing work, some work around neuropsychology, I used positive psychology as well, I developed an ability, like I was able to move through that depression and come out the other side. Now, 20 years of depression is a long time to be depressed, people. It's a long time to be depressed. So for those of you who are thinking to yourselves, well, I've been depressed so long, it's not possible for me. I'm going to tell you that that is not true. Or you're thinking to yourself, there's been depression through the generations of our family. Well, I'm living proof that even if that is the case, you can come out the other side. Now, today I'm going to give you tip 2. Last week I gave you tip 1. Which was noticing. So I'll go review that really quickly here because we don't have a lot of time. As you can see, I'm really passionate about this subject and I could go on and on forever, and I'll tell you a little bit more at the end of this chat how you could have a little bit more, but I'm just going to review I guess it was 2 weeks ago, the live we did called Mindfulness, Depression, and Anxiety, How to Prevail. Now, I don't teach mindfulness. I don't like that word. I feel like it's unattainable. What I teach is noticing, and so that was tip 1, and you can watch that in the live from 2 weeks ago. You can find that on the Healing Through Movement page. Noticing is one of the most powerful ways that you can move yourself out of depression. So today, for tip 2, what I'm going to share with you is one of the ways in which I feel can pretty much shift not only depression, anxiety, stress, but any other uncomfortable or challenging emotions that may come up for you. One of the biggest challenges that I came up against when I was feeling depressed, and one of the biggest challenges for my clients, is that we don't want to be depressed. Let's be honest. We don't want to be depressed. We don't like being depressed. We reel against depression. We're gnashing our teeth. We're angry about being depressed. We're ashamed of being depressed. How's that for one? We're ashamed of being depressed. That one really sucks. That one's very challenging. So amidst all of this negative emotions around the depression, that actually makes the depression feel that much more challenging. So what One of the big steps around depression, stress, and anxiety is the simple ability to accept the current circumstances. Nobody wants to accept depression. Nobody wants to accept stress. Nobody wants to accept anxiety. But if we don't come to that place of acceptance around these challenging emotions, what we're always doing is we're running around like a chicken with our head cut off, trying absolutely every single tactic, every single potential solution without really having experienced what it means to sit in that uncomfortable awareness, those uncomfortable emotions. It's all fine and dandy in this society. Become aware of something. We become aware of something and we immediately take action to resolve that something. We want to get out of it. We want to make it better. We want to feel better at all costs. So we're aware of something, we take action. We're aware of something, we take action. We're aware of something, we take action. Now, there's something missing in that picture. And what's missing is the middle part. This part is the acceptance. This is the most powerful part of the process. Awareness, acceptance, and then action. This part is the part that we can't jump over. Tip 2, accept your depression. Make friends with your depression. Get real about the fact that you're depressed, you're stressed, and you're suffering from anxiety. I'm just going to check in here. Excellent, thank you. You are welcome, Patricia. If you have any questions, just land them right there in the comments and I can answer them at the end here. So the acceptance piece, this is the key. Now, along with this acceptance piece, I'm going to offer you something else. Excuse me, got a little bit of a frog in my throat this morning. Compassion, ladies and gentlemen. Compassion is your friend. Healing from depression, healing from anything, healing from chronic illness, healing from cancer, healing from anything at all cannot happen in hostility. So as long as you're reeling against, gnashing your teeth, fighting, feeling ashamed, frustrated, and angry about your current circumstances, your depression, your anxiety, your stress, as long as that is going on there can be no healing. And I speak to you about this from experience. I was so hard on myself around being depressed. I pushed myself so hard all the time. And that is one of the reasons why my depression just carried on for a good 20 years of my life. Acceptance coupled with compassion. Compassion heals. So tip 2 can be summed up like this. Be gentle with yourself. I'm going to say that again. Be gentle with yourself. I'm going to say that a third time. Be gentle with yourself. Sounds simple, just like last week's tip. It is simple. It is very simple, ladies and gentlemen. Last week, start noticing. Get present in your own life. This week, compassion. Compassion is the answer. It is a big component of your healing. It is a big component of overcoming depression and anxiety. Excuse me just for 1 minute while I take a quick sip of my tea. Sorry. Be gentle with yourself. What does that look like? What does that look like, ladies and gentlemen? The first time I ever heard be gentle with yourself, oh my, I don't know what's going on here. The first time I heard be gentle with yourself, I will tell you right now, I did not even know what that meant. I did not know what it looked like. I actually, and I'm a smart lady, I'm a very intelligent lady, I actually had to get the person who said that to me to sort of explain what that would look like, what that meant. Now I'm going to give you one example, because there'll be people out there who are exactly like myself, who have no idea what being gentle looks like, who are thinking to themselves, I never got here by being gentle. I didn't get this far by being gentle with myself. I pushed, I hustled, I got there. And guess what? Everything might look good on the outside with your pushing and hustling. You might have every material thing you want, but inside, things don't feel so great. And what I like to remind my clients is that everything on the outside could drop away. You could lose it all, but you need to live in this skin for the rest of your life. Some of you might not want to hear that, but you will have to live in this skin for the rest of your lives. So why not feel good in your skin no matter what? So getting back to being gentle with yourself, what does that look like? Well, for a time period in my life, I was a stay-at-home mom with 4 children. That is a difficult job. I will say that again, that is a difficult job. I would fall asleep at night, every single night, thinking to myself, I got nothing done today. I got nothing done today. I got nothing done today. What a waste. And after I heard about this idea of being gentle with myself, I remember one night I actually thought, I wonder if I did that a little differently, what would happen? I wonder if instead of thinking to myself every night, I got nothing done tonight, with that, usual sort of contempt and frustration, I wonder if I thought to myself about all the things I did get done today, be it, folding laundry, making a meal, getting the kids from school, whatever sort of mundane thing that you could qualify that as. What if I simply listed off all the things I did, no matter what it was? That made a huge difference. That made a huge difference, because part of the challenge with depression is that we get caught in, and I know you're going to be able to get this, we get caught on like a record. It's like the needle on the record. For a lot of you, I think a lot of you still had records. I think our population on this website knows what a record is. It's like being on a record with a needle that's skipping, and it's just skipping there, skipping, skipping, skipping. Neurologically, we get stuck in a rut, neurologically. So that one small action of me changing the way I went to sleep at night had a ripple effect. It started to change the way I saw things and the way I thought. I developed more compassion for myself. I was able to accept my depression. I was able to treat myself with the kindness I deserved through that process. And that is one of the ways I healed myself. So for those of you paying attention today, I am so happy you're here. I'm so happy you're here, because this is a possibility for you too. You can heal yourself of stress, anxiety, depression. You can do it. Start here. Start now. Keep it simple. Notice. Tip number 1 was noticing. Tip number 2 this week is compassion, being gentle with yourself. You can do it, ladies and gentlemen. You can do it. If you have loved this video, because I've loved making it for you, I'm sure that's evident. If you've loved this video, click the like button, click the love, send me some hearts, share this link on your own personal Facebook page. If you feel that it would be a benefit to anybody you know, share this on your own personal page. If any of you have any questions, please put them below in the comments. Oh, look, hearts and likes. I love the hearts and likes. Sometimes I send them to myself on live videos because it just makes me happy when I watch it later. If you have any questions, please put them in the comments. Put your questions down there. Tell us what resonated with you most. Where do you see yourself? Are you suffering from anxiety or stress? Have you been depressed for years? Has anything, any of what I've shared with you, once you've practiced it, has it been helpful? What was the most helpful piece of information you had today? And you can also suggest topics for the future, because I plan on doing these, for as long as possible. I love being on video, as you can tell. Thank you again for showing up. Share the post if it was helpful. Head over to Exercises for Injuries for more articles and expert advice. And you can always get a hold of me either by commenting on this page. I will personally respond to all your comments. And you can also spend a little bit of time with me on a one-on-one chat if you'd like. I've offered 3 of them complimentary to the people here who are watching this video. So I put the link down there, and if you'd like to have a one-on-one half-hour chat with me to see if I can help you with anything that's going on, and you can find out how we could work one-on-one together, I highly encourage you to check out Happiness Habits and book yourself a session. The link's in the comments. So bye for now. We've gone over a little bit of our time, but I'm so happy you joined us, and I'm so happy that there's going to be more people in this world who are going to be gentle with themselves and move through to the other side of that depression. Carry on, people. Carry on. We can do this. Take good care.